Hey everybody, how's it going? Statman coming back at you, and today I am going to be talking to you about some things that I picked up at Half Price Books Outlet. It's been a while because I actually moved away from the Half Price Books Outlet. Used to live very, very close, but now I don't live close at all. So, it's one of those things where you have to make a day of it, basically, which means you only ever are going to go on days when they have a really big sale, which today was one of those days. So I planned the whole thing out basically 3 weeks in advance, just to make sure that I had everything ready to go. And as I understood it, based on what their website said, there was going to be a bag sale, which meant fit everything you can into the bag for $25. Which is a freaking phenomenal deal, and it actually would have been a better deal than what I got today. However, they weren't having the sale they said they were having on their website. I went there, and they weren't having that sale. They were actually having a dollar sale, where everything in the store was $1, which is also a good deal, but again, not as good of a deal as I would have gotten in the bag sale. Regardless, it's not the worst thing ever. It could have been worse. But regardless, I managed to get some pretty damn good deals today. And I was glad that I went. I was glad I planned it all out and had the opportunity to go. Not always going to happen. In fact, I'd say this is still going to be something I do maybe like once a year. Twice if I'm lucky. So yeah, it's always nice though, because that really is one of my favorite stores of all time, honestly. Like, I recently went on their website looking to see how many outlet stores do they actually have in this country, in the United States as a whole. They have 5 outlet stores. That's it. There's only 5. So it's understandable if you've never heard of an outlet store for half-price books. But man, their sales. Oh. If you ever end up going near a half-price books outlet, if you ever end up going on holiday or going on a trip somewhere for some reason, whatever the reason may be, you got to travel somewhere, right? Always check. If you're going to have any free time during that trip, always check to make sure that there's not a half-price books outlet near you and that they're not having a sale during the time that you'll be there, because their sales are freaking epic. And I'll show you exactly what I mean here, since I got all these for $1 each. So, first off, I got Noel on DVD because I actually really like this movie. For those who don't know, I love Christmas movies to begin with, but this movie actually stars some pretty notable actors. You could probably tell. You got Paul Walker there, you got Penelope Cruz, you got Susan Sarandon, also Alan Arkin, but the big one for me, Robin Williams is in this movie, guys. A lot of people don't know that. It looks like we were talking about it in SNI, it looks like a freaking Hallmark movie, right? But it's actually really freaking good for a Christmas movie. And it has become one of my favorites in the past few years. So when I saw this for $1, I was like, yoink, mine. Next up, I got Traces of Red, because it is a movie I'm not familiar with. I did not know anything about it. All I knew when I saw it was, that's a title I've never seen before, and it stars James Belushi. Okay, sounds interesting. I look at the back. Oh, no wonder I haven't heard of it. It's one of those early HBO movies. And as we all know, early HBO movies on DVD, kind of hard to come by. Not always easy to find. Typically low print runs. So, yeah, I decided to get this and go. Lo and behold, yeah, it is apparently not necessarily very easy to find. So, glad to have gotten this. Very glad to have this in my collection. Check it out. The synopsis sounded pretty interesting. We shall see. Steal this movie. Well, I didn't steal it, but I got it for $1, so is that kind of like stealing? No, because I paid money for it. But this looks like a very great movie. I've heard good things about this movie, so when I saw it sitting on the shelf, I was like, well, I definitely have to get this because I want to see this movie. So I went ahead and got this. I'm expecting excellent things. I can't remember if this is on Criterion, but it seems to me like a movie that should be on Criterion Collection. Regardless, though, for $1 to get any version of this movie, I feel like is a pretty good deal. Next up, I got Dead Bang. Because, well, first of all, Don Johnson. But second of all, it just looks like a terrible action film. And I was talking about this with my friends, and they said, yep, it's a terrible action film. So, awesome. I picked wisely. I'm sure this will be terrible, but fun. It seemed like it would be a fun, stupid action film from the 90s or 80s or whatever. Yeah, 1989. And sure enough, directed by John Frankenheimer. That was one of the things I saw when I was in the store. I was like, okay. Next up, I got The Sweet Smell of Success. The synopsis sounded pretty interesting, and it stars Billy Bob Thornton and Kyle MacLachlan from Twin Peaks. Those two in particular caught my eye, and you know me, when I see a movie that has actors that I'm familiar with, that I enjoy their work, but I haven't seen the movie or even heard of it, I typically just buy it sight unseen, not knowing anything about it, just because I like these actors. They do good work. So, even if the movie's not very good, I'm sure they're good in it. So it's like you can kind of rely on them to be at least a decent part of the movie. So, yeah. Very interested to see if this is any good at all. We'll see. I got Sunset. Again, because mainly Bruce Willis, but also you have James Garner in there as well. Another one I've never heard of before. Another one that I see on the shelf, and I'm like, I've never heard of that. That title seems interesting to me. So, went ahead and picked this one up. We shall see if it's any good or not. But apparently it was a good one to pick up because I looked it up on eBay, and apparently this one is kind of hard to find. So, yeah, cool. And then I saw this on the shelf, and it's like, I remember this. I remember not really liking this that much. Maybe for good reason. I always like to give things a second chance if it's been more than like 20 years since I've seen them, so yeah. But the main reason I picked this up actually is because it's not available on Blu-ray. I said that, and my friend Skinslip says, for good reason, because he hates the movie and he thinks it's terrible, and he's probably right. I mean, maybe my initial thought that this movie was not very good was correct. Regardless, I figured, yeah, I might as well give this one a shot. Again, if just because it's $1, basically. Like, if it's $1 and it's a movie that's not available on Blu-ray, okay, why not, you know? Next up, I got Indiscreet from the Cary Grant collection, starring Cary Grant and Ingrid Bergman. And Cary Grant. So, of course, he was the big hit star. But also, Ingrid Bergman is there. So, Ingrid Bergman is there. What is did I say Birdman? I swear I said Birdman there. Regardless, I'm catching myself on flubs now and finding that hilarious. So, anyways, this is one of those movies, those classic movies I've never actually seen before. So, just based on that alone, I wanted to pick it up to check it out, see it for myself. And yeah, I'm expecting this is actually pretty good, but we'll see. I mean, it does star two of the greatest actors of all time, so probably pretty good stuff. Next up, I got Sour Grapes, which I've never seen. I think I've heard of this, but I don't remember anything about it. All I know for sure is it was written and directed by Larry David. I mean, if you don't know who Larry David is, I mean, think Seinfeld, think Curb Your Enthusiasm. He's a pretty hilarious guy. He's done some pretty damn amazing stuff over the years. So, if he was behind this, I've got hopes that it's actually pretty good. We'll see. But I have never heard of it. Well, I wouldn't say never heard of it because I'm pretty sure I had heard of it. But I've never seen it. And I definitely wanted to give this one a shot when I saw it there for $1. So, yeah. Next up I got Cops and Robertsons. This one admittedly is crap. I got it mainly for nostalgia purposes because I remember seeing this a couple times when I was a kid and thinking it wasn't very good at the time, but also just that it wasn't too terribly bad either. Just like a middle of the road kind of movie. I'm sure now I would not like it much at all, but I got it again just based on nostalgia mostly because it's something I remember watching in my youth. Is it weird to do that, just to buy things based on pure nostalgia? Because if it is weird to do that, then I don't know. Like, look at everything they sell to people based on pure nostalgia and nothing else. Nostalgia is a powerful seller. So powerful it will make you buy Cops and Robertsons, even though you know it's not a very good movie. Next up I got Rebel Without a Cause. I'm pretty sure this is on Blu-ray, but in lieu of not having it on Blu-ray yet, I figured, yeah, the 2-disc special edition on DVD for $1? Yeah, okay, I'll get that. Why the hell not? Why the hell not? This might actually have some special features that is not available on the Blu-ray, so figured why not get that for $1, just at least have it in my collection somehow, and now I do. Next up is Mortal Thoughts. This one is another one actually starring Bruce Willis. Demi Moore gets the headline there, and then Glenn Heady, and then Bruce Willis is just down here because the time that this came out, Bruce Willis looked like that. He was not quite as well known or notable at the time, although he was becoming pretty notable by then, I think. He just didn't get top heading there. But whatever the case, the synopsis sounded interesting. The actors and actresses involved obviously were very familiar to me, so I decided to take a chance for $1. Why the hell not? Next, I found The $6 Million Man. That was a terrible impersonation, but okay. This is the Pilot TV Movies and Complete Season 1. Again, I know that there's a complete series out there, I'm aware, but $1 for a complete season and the Pilot TV Movies? Not too bad, not bad at all. I think this'll do. Whenever I have the itch to watch even a little bit of this show, I will know that I only had to pay $1 to do so. Next up I got Trailer Park Boys, the complete first and second season. They have a couple different ways to get this in a couple different sets, but again, $1 for first and second seasons here on DVD. I don't have to worry about if the internet goes out and I feel like watching some stupid crap like this. Well, don't have to worry about not being able to access Netflix, do I? Because now I got the DVD set here for $1. Not too shabby. The last DVD set I got here, the last DVD thing I should say that I got here, is kind of an interesting one. Got Once Upon a Time in China, the complete 3-movie set here. 1, 2, and 3, and it's the Fortune Star release from China. I know what you're thinking. Why would you get a foreign Chinese release of these 3 movies? Well, the main thing that I looked at first here was, are the subtitles in English? And yes, They do have subtitles in English for all 3 of these movies. So, awesome. Good. Next thing I thought to myself, can I watch these movies? Yes, I can. I believe that, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe every Blu-ray player is like a region-free DVD player. Like, it plays all regions of DVDs. That may be incorrect, but even if it is incorrect, I have a region-free Blu-ray player which absolutely plays all regions of Blu-rays and all regions of DVDs as well. So, yes, I can watch these movies, and I really like the way this set looked. I mean, look how thick that box is, man. That's incredible. So, yes, saw this and I was like, for $1? Yeah, I'll do that for $1. Why the hell not? Oh, but it's all in Chinese. Well, the movies are Jet Li movies. It makes sense to have something like this in Chinese. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why you would have that much of a problem with it if you can watch it. I can watch it, so I don't have a problem with it. You know, it's pretty cool to me. And then, last but not least, here I will get into the Blu-rays that I found for $1. So, first and foremost, I got The Valley of Elah, which I'm not familiar with. I've seen it on the shelf here and there. Never bothered picking it up because it was either too expensive or just didn't really have much interest in it. But for $1, yeah, I'll pay $1 for this. It seems interesting enough that I'm willing to pay $1 for it. Tommy Lee Jones, can't really go wrong with Tommy Lee Jones. Susan Sarandon, I love Susan Sarandon. Am I expecting great things? Not necessarily. I will be happy with what I paid for this if I get maybe a 5 out of 10 or a 2.5 out of 5 star movie out of this. If it's just a middle of the road film, I'll be happy having paid $1 for it. You know, like, it's not too much to pay for a halfway decent movie, and I'm expecting this is at least a halfway decent movie. So, yeah, I don't think I will be too broken up about having spent that money. Next up, and last but not least, I managed to, across 4 Blu-rays here, I got the first 3 seasons of Weeds here on Blu-ray. So, Season 1, $1. Season 2, $1. And then Season 3 spread out across 2 discs here, $1 each, so $2. So, for a grand spanking total of $4, you get 3 seasons of Weeds. That's not too bad, I'd say. I think that's a pretty good deal. And I've heard that this is actually a really good series. So, to get it for such a damn good price on Blu-ray, I'd say that's a pretty good deal. I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, all in all, I mean, I can't hold up all the freaking stuff that I got because there's so damn much of it, but I managed to get quite a lot of good deals, I would say. So, yes, very happy that I had the chance to go to Half Price Books Outlet once again. One of my favorite stores of all time. So anyways, that'll do it for me today. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you later. Peace.